went to cinema a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, which leads us nicely onto...
I was going to say, that was either a really good segue or really bad if you hadn't segued into it.
A really good one. Liam and Ellie went to cinema, and now it's time for their spoiler-free review of the things that they saw at the cinema and whatever other stuff they've done as well, I guess.
Yeah, smooth.
Thanks. We've both done a lot of cinema stuff, haven't we?
Yeah, we've both had to trim down to the 3 that we'll do on the podcast, which is... I don't know if that's ever happened before, where both of us have gone over the limit.
No, so what are you not covering this time?
I'm not covering John Wick 2, because I saw it for the first time.
Okay.
I'm not covering Godzilla, because we're doing maybe an episode on it that you'll find out about if you keep listening to this episode.
Yeah.
I think that puts me up to the 5, so that's the 5.
How's your reading going?
I'm 30% through the second Brimstone Angels book.
Okay.
I picked that up the other day and was like, I'm going to start reading this again.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, it's going.
Cool. What film do you want to discuss first? Do you want to do the one we've both done?
Yes.
That is John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you saw John Wick 2 for the first time. What?
Yes. I saw John Wick 1 ages ago and loved it.
Yeah,
was like, this is just a really good film.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just never got round to watching John Wick 2.
Yeah.
And then the other week, I was like, I really want to see John Wick 3 in the cinema.
Yeah.
And to do that, I need to watch John Wick 2. So I literally just sat down, rented it on Amazon, and then immediately went out to see John Wick 3.
Yeah. Okay. What did you think of John Wick 3?
I really enjoyed it because it's John Wick. And I think if you went in and didn't enjoy it, it's because you went in expecting something that wasn't the John Wick trilogy.
Yeah, like, it is more John Wick, is essentially what it is.
Yeah. It's literally, do you want to see more John Wick? Yes. Okay, this is the film for you, because it's just more John Wick.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the first John Wick. And then the second John Wick I thought was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one, I'd say, is better than the second, but not as good as the first.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think the first is probably the best.
So the issue I had with the third... Well, first, the things that I like how, from the first film, they have managed to spin up this whole, like, mythology around the world that he's in.
Yeah, because John Wick 1, like...
It touches on it, but not... Like, you have, like, the Continental
so
and
barely,
stuff.
doesn't
but,
it? It's just, like, he used to be an assassin and people being like, oh, he's the bogeyman.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 was like, here's some more of that, like, here's some lore behind that.
Yeah.
And what that means in the context of what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And then 3 is like, cool, you've had the context. Here's this crazy-ass world he lives in all its glory.
Yeah. My issue with 3 is that... So John Wick is well known for being an action film.
Yes.
And I just found some of the action moments in the third one just went on a bit too long to sustain my interest.
Okay.
Because John Wick's fighting style... Like, I know there are, like, proper, like, martial arts techniques in there, like judo and stuff, but it is...
Yeah, because he actually, like, Keanu Reeves learns the fight moves and all that shit.
But his fighting style is essentially a lot of Keanu Reeves just rolling around on the floor. It's a lot of that. And the first action sequence you have in John Wick, right? I don't know if you remember it. He's in this, like, he's fighting these guys, and he's in, like, a corridor, and they've got a load of knives, and they're throwing all these knives and stuff, and... The action...
Oh, is this John Wick 3?
Yeah, sorry, in the third one I meant.
Yeah, sorry, right, I do remember, yeah.
And it ramps up nicely, and it's a real neat, like, action bit. I like it, there's variety to it, it's cool. And I was like, that was really good, I can't wait to see what else there is. And there were other cool bits, but they all just ended up going on a little bit too long for me.
Yeah.
So, like...
I don't know if I agree.
I enjoyed the John Wick on a horse stuff. Yeah. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the motorbike action scene. Yeah. That was really cool. Samurais on motorbikes. One that went on a bit too long for me was just, look at these dogs. They're cool. And I was like, they are cool.
See, I don't know if the fight scene went on too long. I admit that the dog usage was maybe overused.
Yeah.
In that scene.
Yeah, I was just a bit like...
Because I think there were maybe 4 guys in a row who got beaten in very similar ways.
Well, there's only so much you can do with a dog, really, isn't it? It jumps at you and attacks your throat. And I think they were like... And someone went, you've got to do 6. And they went, ugh, we've got like 4. Let's do 2 of them again. Yeah. There's that one. And also, like, the big one at the end, like, obviously no spoilers, but he's just going through, like, a lot of people in a very similar way.
Is that the big one at the end? Because,
leading up to it. So you've got like him going through all of the like the guards and stuff, and then you have the fight with him versus the two guys, and then you've got him versus the one guy.
I liked the end.
It's just
like those ones, the 2 and the 1, because like every section of that fight was different in terms of how the fight was happening. The guards maybe went on too long, but then I don't know. I liked that it started one way and then they were like, "Oh, this isn't working. Let's do something else," and like changed it up a bit. I don't know. Yeah. But then again, it was like I came in here to watch Keanu Reeves beat up a bunch of men, and that's what I'm getting. So I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah, and it's sort of like Mission Impossible, where like the appeal of that film for me is I'm seeing Tom Cruise actually do these things. With John Wick, it's like I'm seeing Keanu Reeves actually doing like I think like 90% of this stuff. Yeah,
yeah. That is the impressive part. Is that because he's doing a lot of his own stunts. We have to cut there because this is when the stunt guy scene happens. Whereas because they're relying on Keanu Reeves doing it, like the scenes can sort of roll together better.
Yeah, yeah. I think the other issue that I personally have is I love like action films and stunts and that, but I love it like almost like the sillier the better. Until you get to the point where it's mostly CGI, then I don't like it. But it's why I quite enjoy like the Fast and Furious films, because they just ramp things up and it does just get sillier and sillier, and I'm here for it. I love it. Okay. Whereas with the John Wick films, you have like stunts and that, but they're always I would never describe like any sequence in John Wick as particularly silly. It's always grounded in some level.
No action sequences. There are definitely scenes that are silly.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the action stuff.
On an action level, no. I think the rule that they're trying to go with is, I mean, some stuff
they're trying to ground it.
Some stuff is out there. Like there is stuff he does in this film that you're like, this would not like. Not that it wouldn't work. Basically, you're watching a guy like have a continuous fight for a week. So like, part of it is this is silly because he would probably have died in fight 2.
Yeah,
but I get what you're saying. It's not like the action scenes aren't crazy. No one's driving a bus into the moon and then like
no one's driving a car out of a plane and then parachuting out of the car.
No, but then I also don't like that as much as you do. I much prefer a cool fight scene than a crazy action sequence.
Yeah. So I think that's where we differ when it comes to this sort of film. What do you think of Halle Berry in it?
I thought she was good. I think it's the same thing where, because I'd seen stuff beforehand of like people talking about Keanu Reeves training for the film, and then I think
talking about her training.
Yeah, because she like, the way
I was
he
expecting
says it is
her to be
she turned up
more.
and went, if Keanu's doing it, I want to do it, and then like went through all the like gun training and all that stuff. And I was like, that's really fucking cool. But
I heard like them talk about how much she put into the training. So when I watched them, I was expecting her to be much bigger.
She's not in it for as much as I thought.
No,
which I don't know. It almost makes it more impressive because I'm like, someone went, let's get Halle Berry in this film, and then Halle Berry was like, I'm going to do all the training, and they were like, you don't need to, like, you don't need to, and she was like, I'm going to though.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool.
Oh, one thing I have to say. Let me get the actor's name. Bronn in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know. Liam, you're asking me an actor name.
Yeah, I know. What am I thinking, eh?
Exactly.
Hang on.
Rube.
Come on. Jerome Flynn?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they made him do an accent. I really don't. His character did not need an accent.
No,
he didn't need to try and do an accent.
It would have been a bit weird if he didn't have an accent. Because I don't know, I feel like people could already say about the film there's not a whole lot of cultural diversity in it. Like, in terms of countries, not racially. So, like, if you're setting this assassin movie around the world, and then you have a bunch of guys who are from the country that you're setting a scene in, and then the guy that's running that country is just a normal English white guy, I think people might have been like, ooh, that's a bit weird, don't you think? So I get why they were like, you need to talk in an accent.
Would have been better than the accent.
I didn't mind it. It was silly, but I'm fine with that.
Alright, fair enough.
Out of 5, Liam?
3.5 out of 5.
I think I'll probably give it a 4.
Yeah. I said, like, I enjoyed it for what it was, but partly it's me wanting something slightly different from it, and partly it's just me being a bit, like, tired of it by the end.
Okay. I think if people didn't like John Wick 1, then just stop watching John Wick films, because they are very much John Wick films.
Yeah. So I think there's a TV show coming out, and they've confirmed a John Wick 4 as well.
I mean, the end of 3 is very much like there's a 4th movie.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna personally watch the TV show.
I might.
But I would probably go and watch.
It is.
I think it's meant to be like his earlier years.
Oh, baby John Wick. When he's
but I think it might still be Keanu Reeves.
No, I want it to be a baby though, Liam.
Like an actual baby.
Baby John Wick.
No one wants.
And someone buys him a puppy for his birthday, and then the TV series starts.
Alfie Allen's in John Wick.
Yeah.
In the first one.
Yeah.
He's really the one that starts it all.
Yeah.
So
I did like.
Maybe your brother was going to ask Alfie Allen about John Wick.
That's what my brother should have said. You were in John Wick.
Yeah.
I do like, and I'm probably going to cut this because I think it might be a spoiler, but I did love, there was a throwaway line in this where someone is like, he did all this because someone killed his dog and his car. And because I'd just seen 2 where they also like destroy his house, I think John Wick is like, it wasn't just the dog and the car. And I was like, no, he's right. It was his house. That like, yeah. It's all still minor stuff in the grand scheme of things. But I just loved it as like a little throwaway, sort of almost like jokey line. Same with like the pencil stuff. Like someone says in the 3rd one, I think they're like, he kills someone with a pencil, and then in this film, he kills another guy with a pencil.
Yeah. I'm surprised they cut his finger off, because now in like the 4th one, that's going to be a hefty CGI budget to keep removing Keanu Reeves' finger.
A prosthetic finger.
Yeah, why not?
Or the like sewer king is going to give him a pigeon finger.
Do you know, I really liked seeing Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves on screen together again, because obviously they did The Matrix together. So
yep.
And his whole character. One other thing though, in the marketing, what's his name? The guy that's from The League and he's in like Dirty Grandpa and he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's Jason Mantzoukas.
That's it. Yep.
In the marketing, I think he had like his own poster. I was like, oh, he's going to have a significant role in this. He's in like 2 scenes.
Yeah. I
was so confused. Like, why did he get his own poster?
It's also a weird casting choice for the role.
Really weird.
It's not a particularly funny role, and I know that's typecasting and annoying. If we're just like, he has to be funny, but when I saw him, I was like, oh, is this going to be a comedy character?
Well, he does typically get typecast. Like his character in The League and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Dirty Grandpa, they're all somewhat pretty similar.
Yeah, like the weird guy who's super weird.
Yeah. But yeah, just weird.
Yeah.
But still, we'll see what happens with number 4.